Ever wonder how to seal your altered projects so that they're actually functional and usable? Hi, this is Denise with PaperKraftD, and today I'm going to show you how I seal this eyeglasses case so that I can actually use it on a day-to-day basis. So I want to seal this so that the surface is protected. This is going to get a lot of handling, and I just feel like it needs more protection than just what the matte medium provides. Because I've used solvent-based inks on here, I've decided that I'm going to go with a water-based clear top coat. And I'm using the Minwax polyacrylic, and I'm using the clear matte. The reason I've chosen a clear matte is for multiple reasons. One is that I really like the finish on this. I don't feel like it needs to be glossy. I really just, I don't know, in general, I generally prefer a matte finish anyway. Second of all, I feel like the matte finish is less prone to getting fingerprints and looking dirty quicker, so I like that. Also, I'm going to be using this in the car most frequently, and transferring my regular prescription glasses to prescription sunglasses and just transferring back and forth into this case. And I'm very sensitive to light and also motion. If I have a lot of reflective surfaces, I find it very distracting because I can see the motion in my peripheral vision. And so I prefer to have a matte surface. I don't need many more distractions in the car. So I really like the matte for that. And also, from some of the research that I've done, it indicates that the matte is a little bit more forgiving than the glossy finish in terms of streaking and bubbling. So for those reasons, I decided to go with the clear matte. But you can, your project, you can choose whatever you like and whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm going to follow the instructions on here. It says do not shake it, but you do want to stir it before and during use. It also recommends 3 coats, and from some of the reviews that I've read, they've said that the finish is a little odd if you do less than 3 coats, but if you do 3 coats, it's perfect. So I'm just going to follow the directions and go with 3 coats of this polyacrylic. I've also, in some of the reviews, they've recommended using a sponge brush for this. It gives the most even streak-free finish. So I'm going to do that. I think I've got a variety of brush sizes here. I'll probably use between this, let's see, 2-inch and 1-inch brush. And I'm just going to cover my craft surface with some media matte to it. I'm going to start on the back. I think I'm gonna, I removed the liner so that wouldn't get dirty. Okay, and it says in the instructions that it is cloudy in the jar, but it goes on clear. Okay, and I'm just gonna stir it up. Again, it said not to shake it. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it like this, get a little bit on there. And again, you want to do several thin layers rather than one, thick layer. Right, I'm going to go over the whole thing like that, and the whole thing like that. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to go over this like this, and this like this. And they said that you don't want to overwork it. Okay, so I think that's pretty much good for that. And I'm going to do the sides. Which side did I do? I did that side. And then that. I might want to just very quickly do those edges. And that looks, I'm just looking at the reflection now to make sure I got all the areas. That looks pretty good, I'd say. Okay. All right, I don't want that little piece sticking up there, or that little piece sticking up there. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now when I'm doing it, testing an unknown thing, I always like to do it in an area that I care less about than, you know, the area that I care more about. So that's why I started with the back. And then I'm gonna just go ahead and go over the front. Okay, I need a place to hold this, so I'm gonna get everything but this one little area that I'm holding. Okay, and then let's see if I can go like this. Just get that area right in there. Okay, I don't want to overwork it, so that's going to be that for now. I'm going to set it down to dry. And I realize it's on that little crevice. I guess the ideal thing would be if I could lift it up somehow. But I don't have the ability to do that right now without it falling over. So we'll see how it turns out like that. It says to dry for 2 hours. Other people have said an hour. I'm going to set my timer for an hour and see what it's like in an hour, and then come back, because people have mentioned that it does dry really, really fast, which is one of the benefits of this water-based top coat. Okay, so it's been just slightly over an hour. I'm looking at this. This looks pretty good. You're supposed to sand it between applications. I'm not sure I got very much on this front, on her face. I don't really want to sand her face because it looks like I might have missed a couple spots, and I don't want to sand off the tissue paper. So I'm going to sand basically everywhere else, but I'm going to kind of miss that area. So that kind of stinks that I didn't get that. You're supposed to use a very fine grit sanding paper, and I just happen to have these. I think I got them at the I don't know, beauty supply shop. They're just look like what they use in nail salons. They're like individual little sanding blocks. This one is super fine, and I think on the back is a buffer, you know, like for your nails, this is the final thing that you use. So that's what I'm going to use, because I don't want to, you know, overdo the sanding. Just want to do a very, very fine amount of sanding. So anyway, we'll try that, see how that goes. So I'm just going to go over it fairly quickly. So I'm not rubbing very hard on this, and I might have been able to use a higher grit sanding paper than I did, but this is what I had, so that's what I used. And I'm just going to wipe it off very quickly with a paper towel. So now I'm just repeating the process for a second coat, and I'm trying to keep the coat fairly light. You can see I wipe off the excess before I start, and as you can see, I go from the center out on the front and on the back, and I just try to do it in one swipe, and then I turn it around and I go from the center out on the other side, and you can see that just it provides full coverage without kind of overworking the area. And I'm just trying to assure that I got all the surfaces by looking to see if it's shiny or not. In this round, I am trying to make sure that I get the edges, the curved areas really, really well, and everything's covered. So I take that additional step that I didn't do in the first go round. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. I wish I had recorded this for you, but I did notice after I had done this, about 20 minutes in, this started bleeding a little bit. I just took a paper towel and kind of daubed up, you know, where it was bleeding. And I think I maybe just put a little bit too much in that one area, a little bit too much of the top coat. But so far I think it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty pleased. It's been a little bit over an hour. I'm just going to sand it down again with the same sanding foam. And I'm going to do it off my surface here just because I don't want to get, you know, little bits and pieces that might fall off on here. And I'm going to wipe it off with a paper towel. And then I'll put my third and final coat on here. You can kind of see, I mean, it's not doing a whole lot when I sand, just a very little bit. I'm not sure it's doing much at all, honestly, but it makes me feel good. I'm following the instructions. I'm a rule follower. Yeah, the other thing is this stuff is not cheap. This matte polyacrylic is kind of pricey. I think this thing with tax cost me like $16, but it should last a good long time. And I should be able to use it for other projects in the future when I make altar projects. So probably a good investment in the long run. So I think I got good coverage on this third and final coat. I think it looks pretty good. I'm just going to let that dry, and I'm not going to sand it for this final round. So I'm super excited by the way this turned out. It's not completely cured. I think I'm going to leave it overnight before I start using it, but you know, it's evening right now, so no big deal. It's not like I'm going to be going out and using my sunglasses tonight anyway, so this works out just fine. And it feels really nice and sturdy, like it's not going to get ripped or things aren't going to come off of it. Feels like I can you know, wipe it off with a wipey, a baby wipe if I need to clean it off. So I am super excited about this. The other thing I like about this top coat, the polyacrylic top coat, is that the reviews say that it's really good for heat too. So if I have it in the car, and mainly I park in the garage, but if I have it in the car, it should work just fine. But I don't know if you can see just the sheen on it. It's really nice. You know, it's not shiny. It's just, it has a nice matte finish to it, which I really, really, really love. I am just beyond thrilled with it. I just really cannot wait to start using it. So if you've somehow missed my two previous videos where I show how I do the stamping for the decoupage and give some really, really useful tips and tricks that will definitely save you time, money, and aggravation, as well as how I actually went through and decoupaged this eyeglass case, I will link them here in the video as well as in the description box below. So please check those out if you haven't seen them yet. I think they're, you know, really helpful. And if you found this video useful, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment in the description box below. Have you done this kind of decoupage before? Are you interested in altering something? Let me know. It really does help my channel when you interact with it, so I really appreciate any comments that you leave. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Again, this is Denise with PaperKraftD, and craft on!